Yes, us guys, I'm Jimmy V, and with me in the studio we have Roula Angel. Yes, Roula.
Hello, καλησπέρα σε όλους τους ακροατές του Karamella FM. Σας καλωσορίζουμε και πάλι για να περάσουμε όχι 2, αλλά 3 ευχάριστες ώρες.
Bravo, Roula, how was your week this week? So
It
far?
was, you know, I'm trying to get used to being back. A little bit cold.
Hasn't been too bad today.
Not
Weather's
too
been
bad,
great.
but you know what? I am missing Athens. I'm missing the chaos, the action 24/7. I am missing all that at my doorstep, but we're going to have it tonight. We're going to have it right here at the Karamella Studios in Burwood tonight.
Also tonight in the studio we've got our special guest Lewis, and Lewis is from...
That's right. Απόψε θα έχουμε μαζί μας τον μάγειρα Louis Freris να μας δώσει μερικές συνταγές. Louis is from an international cooking show.
TVS, you can catch it every
Monday night at
yes.
7:30,
That's
and
correct.
it's a half-hour cooking show. And I watched it last night and learnt all about what was it? It was zucchini flowers with crab meat.
You got
Sounds
it.
great.
I think I might make it this weekend.
Piname, Tora. Piname. Also, don't forget, guys, between 11 and 12, we've got Tom Hyper coming in. We're going 1 hour of Mykonos House.
That'll be fantastic. It's going to take me back to Mykonos.
So enjoy the music, enjoy Karamella. We're here every Tuesday between 9 and 11. Also, don't forget, you can listen to us on www.radio2adj.com. And we're here from 9 to 12. And you can also actually stream live. And find us on Facebook at Karamella. If you want to become a friend, add us on Karamella and we'll accept you straight away.
Yeah, just like Laz from Poolside Cafe and all the crew out there. Come on
some
board.
music. Let's enjoy the tracks. Watching the TV last night on TVS and
Or Channel 31.
Channel 31 and watching Lewis cooking that wonderful...
Zucchini flowers with crab meat. Oh,
mate.
that's good.
That was heaven.
Talking about Lewis, welcome to Karamella.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me here. Καλησπέρα σας.
Πώς πας, καλά?
Πολύ καλά, πολύ καλά. Lovely to meet you too, Roula.
Face to face.
I know. I couldn't picture you on the phone, but you look much better than your picture on Facebook.
I could picture you because I was watching you.
I know.
Yeah, we saw you last night. We saw you doing your bit. And
My bit, yeah.
Your bit.
Which bit is that?
Your cooking show.
My cooking bit,
The
right, okay.
funniest thing was we were both on the phone to each other.
Right.
And Jimmy was asking me questions to see what tips I picked up, and I threw a few questions to him and said, "So do you think you'll be able to make that? Would you remember?" And he said, "Oh, no, I don't think so. I didn't know you were testing me."
That's why.
Again, I always get tested by women.
I think you better leave the cooking to me.
That's why we have a website. Wait till next week, guys. We have a modified version of moussaka called vegetarian moussaka. It's good for you, it's full of fiber, and so on.
Let's start from the beginning.
Yes,
Okay.
let's.
Hang on.
Let's go. You go first, Roula.
I heard something that you're a wedding videographer, producer, come cooking show host.
I know, I've been a split personality for many years, Roula. I don't know which hat to wear every day, but I enjoy both of them.
Great ingredients. So
Yeah, well, look, my background is in fact a chef. I was for 17 years. I was working for Qantas in-flight catering for a few years, but due to ambitions and promotions and you name it, after a few years I ended up on the in-flight entertainment department, started learning about videos and computers and productions and so on, and I must admit I like both cooking and computers and videos and the rest of it, so that's how I ended up doing this. And my life is pretty busy and full of excitement, I think, because of that. How I know Jimmy and how I ended up here as well is because my association through the years as Jimmy being a DJ, and met Jimmy a couple of weeks ago at a function and said, "Mate, I've seen your TV show and I want to have you on the show." And I said, "Well, mate, you're on, let's do it."
So when you said you met at a function, was that at a wedding?
Yes, it was at a wedding. That's right, it was a wedding.
So were you catering for the wedding or were you
No,
filming the wedding?
I'm a video producer.
Okay.
Well, actually these days...
You can do both. Have you ever thought that's such a great thing?
Okay, I do.
Wedding catering and videography all in one.
Absolutely. Actually, these days, most of these guys like to call themselves wedding cinematographers.
Well,
The new Steven Spielbergs of this world. Just buy a camera for $2,000 and you're a cinematographer. Here we go.
I remember that wedding.
You do. That was good.
No, the wedding was great, but I actually remember the after party of the wedding.
That was even better. Is the table still
I'll
there?
leave that to later on. Going back to your actual show that you do on TVS on Channel 31.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, it's actually Digital 44. Channel 31 will be going off air next year.
Tell me, what gave you the what made you do this?
Okay, let me just go back to Qantas. When I left Qantas back in the year 2000, I think it was, I had the experience as a trained video producer, and I continued doing weddings and corporate work. And you know, as the years went past, I met a producer who was Maltese, like my friend Joe here.
Okay.
And
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. This is Joe Gallagher, by the way.
Joe's in the
With on the cameras. On the cameras. Say Kalispera, Joe.
Kalispera.
See, he speaks Greek too. Yeah. So this producer approached me and said, Louis, I need a Maltese program. I met the guy through Joe, from my friend Joe here. Can you produce it for TVS? Back then it was Channel 31. So I ended up doing it, of course, for this guy and lasted a few years. But then the television itself approached me and said, Louis, we want you to produce something else. We like the way you edit. We like the way your programs appear on television. You have a really good audience. I want you to do something for yourself. So I came up, of course, I'm a qualified chef from my past, and I thought, okay, well, I can put the two together, because what else can I do? Because my other vision was to produce a Greek program based on the Greeks in Australia, because I think we're really lacking this here. You know, we've got great programs coming from Greece, fantastic, but there's nothing about us, guys. I want to have something about us. But I didn't have the resources, because it involved a lot of running around and so on, and I didn't have any partners. So I thought, okay, I'll go for the next best thing that I know well, which is cooking. And I partnered up with my friend Martin Skiberas, who is also Maltese, who owns the reception out west, the Mandavilla Function Center, and we said, let's start this. So we produced this pilot program. We were all very excited, took it to TVS, and we thought, okay, we might get a midnight slot or something, at least we get something, and we got 7:30 Monday nights. Big time, fantastic. We're still partying. People love it, and we're getting more and more people coming to our program to watch it, because we're not about people competing with each other. We're not about these television programs who raise your attention and make it like a horse race. It's nothing like that. We just cook good food. We find chefs that have signature dishes, chefs that are very successful. We don't have any housewife type products, if you like that. I don't mean in a bad way. We only have 5-star chefs.
Yeah, I mean, have the advertising and all the marketing behind it.
That's right.
Pushes it to be a hard sell.
Yeah.
You just do it in your own time, your own pace. It's very chilled, and
it's very chilled.
Like it.
And you know what?
By the way, whose kitchen do you use?
This is the Mandavilla Function Center, but it's not the only kitchen.
Okay.
We're actually going to places, for example, on Thursday.
You can also buy kitchen.
Absolutely.
Actually, guys, we have a lovely kitchen next door to the studio. No pressure.
No pressure, okay.
You can go and cook something when we have a break, the next 5 songs.
Yeah, we can order a pizza.
Can you do that?
They do have good pizza in there.
But I tell you, have you got any ingredients? Let's see what we can do with the ingredients you've got.
We have a few.
During the break, we'll go and check. That was
Yeah,
we'll go and check. And
so who, okay, going back to ingredients, who videotapes your show?
This is a good question. I do.
Okay, so you like these news readers today when
I
they
do.
control all the panels on their foot?
Yes, most of the time, but sometimes Joe comes and helps me, right? But for example, I was in Greece, I was by myself, and I wanted to do my program in Greece. I had great passion of putting the Greek islands on primetime television in Australia, and I did. I put Sifnos on the map, I put Syros on the map, that's where I came from, Hermopolis, Syros. I put that on primetime television, and Paros is coming up in a couple of weeks as well.
I love Paros.
Right? So what we did, we found people with passion about the food, passion about the restaurants. And when we approached them, they said, yes, please come in and film whatever you like, we support you, right? So here I am in Paros, for example, I've got the windsurfers in the background, swimming pool in front of me, and in front of all that, we've got a barbecue and we're cooking. It doesn't get better than this, you know? You get distracted by the beauty, but who cares? It's just beautiful.
Okay, so you videotaped all of that?
Yeah, and what I did here, sorry, I've distracted
You
again.
put it on a tripod?
I put the camera on a tripod, I flip the screen back so I can actually watch it, that little screen flips backwards.
Oh, yes.
I organized the radio mics as well, so I could see the audio pics, and we tried. And of course, because it's not a wedding, we have the luxury of trying again. So if we stuff up, we do it again and again till we get it right, and we did. So it just goes to prove that if you really want to do something, and you are on a low budget, you're by yourself, you can do a wonderful product, you know?
Guys, in the studio, we've got Louis from the International Cooking Show.
Kalispera again.
We're going to get in some music and come back.
Listen, mate, while you're doing this, I'm just going to check your cabinet and see what we can do.
I'll take
right?
you to the kitchen right
You've got
now.
fasolia, fakes, kurabiedes.
Oh, we've got a few things.
Okay, let's have a look.
Back some music.
I've got hi Roula, hello from Palyomilos, Paros, Greece right now. We have some friends listening. Palyomilos, it's a hostile
Bravo, bravo.
Paros.
We have to speak some Greek, eh?
Listening right now. Speaking of Paros, we've just got hellos, cheerios coming all the way from Palyomilos. From our dear friend Steve Chus, who's staying at a lovely resort in Paros called Palyomilos.
And you're listening to this track called...
Are you kidding? He's listening to the whole thing. It's about food, isn't it? Food. Steve and food.
I'm crazy here. Φαγητό από εδώ, μουσική από εδώ. Θέλουμε τώρα ένα ουισκάκι και θα είμαστε εντάξει.
Θα είμαστε τέλειοι. Με στρογγυλά παγάκια όμως, έτσι.
Ναι, σωστά. Ένα ούζο θέλουμε τώρα.
Δεν μου αρέσουν τα τετράγωνα παγάκια, δεν κρύωνε καλά.
Ναι, έτσι. Αλήθεια μου λες.
Ναι ρε, το ουίσκι θέλει στρογγυλά παγάκια και με τρύπα στη μέση.
Αλήθεια.
Ναι, βέβαια, γιατί κρύωνει πιο εύκολα.
Άρα drinks, άρα ναι.
Well, that's right. Οπότε
Raspberries.
So tell me, you went at the back there to the kitchen. What did you find in the kitchen?
After sifting through the spiders there's only two little ones that I found. Right? I found some fasolia.
Is that...
Fasolia, beans.
Who was that? Was that you or Lewis?
No, I just...
I found some fasolia, really. And it wasn't Mr. Heinz. They're the dry variety, you know?
Yes.
So
that's right.
what I proceeded
that's
to
the
do,
only sort I would get.
let me just tell you what I did because you asked snuck out, right? What I proceeded to do, I found the fasolia and then I found a cremidi, you know, like an onion, that I was actually growing in the cabinet.
Yeah. And what you doing?
I felt sorry for it, so I chopped its head off. So it's already chopped to go in the fasola that we're about to prepare. My friend Joe went out and he's going to get the rest of the ingredients. And by the end of the program, we're going to have some fasolada.
So Mykonos hour and we're hanging back to have fasolada.
Now tell me, if you're not doing the cooking or you're not doing your video production, what other hobbies do you have?
What other hobbies do I have? Do I have enough time to have the hobbies? I don't know. I love travel, man.
You love traveling?
And above all, I love the Greek islands. I am from Syros. Είμαι από την Ερμούπολη, η καταγωγή μου από τη Σύρο. Έτσι θα μιλήσουμε και λίγα ελληνικά. Και μου αρέσει κάθε χρόνο να γυρίζω πίσω στην Ερμούπολη, στο νησί μου και να κάνω τις διακοπές μου. Εκτός από το
καθόλου όταν πας εκεί ή μόνο κάνεις...
Προσπαθώ να μαγειρεύω, φέτος δεν μαγειρέψα, τη γλίτωσα διότι απλώς ήμουν παρουσιαστής στο πρόγραμμά μου και δούλευα τις κάμερες, δούλευα με τα υλικά και όλος ο κόσμος ήθελε να με βγάζει βόλτα με τη βάρκα του για να τραβάμε βίντεο. Δηλαδή με πήγαινε...
Αυτό θα κάνω και εγώ όταν ξαναπάω Ελλάδα. Θα πω ότι είμαι βιντεόγραφα.
Αυτό είναι το κόλπο, κατάλαβες.
Βγαίνουν όλοι με τις βάρκες τους.
Ναι, με πήρε εμένα το local TV station, Syros Television, με τη βάρκα τους και πήγαμε στη Σύφνο. Φύγαμε 6 ώρα το πρωί, ταξιδέψαμε και στον δρόμο μάλιστα ψαρέψαμε κιόλας. Ψαρέψαμε και πιάσαμε και μερικά ψάρια.
Θα πας του χρόνου στην Ελλάδα.
Ελπίζω, ναι. Βεβαίως, πηγαίνω κάθε χρόνο στο Σύφνο. Συνήθως πηγαίνω τον Ιούλιο.
Εντάξει, θα το κανονίσουμε.
Αλλά αν το κανονίσουμε. Ναι.
Εσύ να μείνεις εδώ.
Εσύ να μείνεις εδώ και θα κάνουμε.
Δεν μαγειρεύεις εσύ, Μαρία μαγειρεύει.
Θα κάνουμε ένωση με το ίντερνετ. Μωρέ, εγώ και η Ρούλα θα παρουσιάζουμε φαγητά. Εμείς θα τρώμε αστακούς στην παραλία στη Μύκονο. Έτσι. Και εσύ θα κάτσεις εδώ και θα πίνεις ουισκάκι με στρογγυλά παγάκια.
Tell me, when did you start cooking? Did you learn at home?
After I finished high school in Greece, I went to a chef's school, proper chef school in Greece. I used to work for passenger ships when I was young.
When you say passenger ships, do you mean
the
Karavia?
International or they're ferries?
No. These are only ferries. No. I was an international chef, and I was trained in passenger ships in the Mediterranean. You know, like.
Fantastic. Why did you come to Australia?
I met my wife. She was an Aussie. She came off one of these ferries, like you mentioned. My wife's an Anglo-Australian, of course, and she was beautiful, blue-eyed blonde, and took my breath away. And I approached her and I said, "Are you looking for rooms? Are you looking for a hotel room?" And at the point of time, I was working on behalf of my friend, pushing hotel rooms. Like they're not actually hotel rooms; they're just rooms that people have and they lease out to the tourists. But it was a good way to meet girls. So if you got a business card that's got rooms in it, you broke the ice, man. You say rooms.
Lewis, don't give our audience any advice.
Do you find yourself thinking about food all the time? Because I'm just wondering, because I'm always thinking about food.
Yes, I'm always thinking about food. Hence, I've got 20 kilos over me. I think the best thing.
Is that why you're dressed in black?
That's right. No, I'm not a Greek priest, and I'm not an undertaker. I'm just fat.
Can you offer us any cooking tips to make our life easier in the kitchen?
Roula, it's funny you asked that question. For many years now, I believe that you are what you eat, although you may not know it. You're a byproduct of the combustion of all these things that you put inside you. So I just think, and I've been researching a lot, on what it is that we need to put in our bodies in order to be healthier than we are now. Because I remember as a kid, growing up in the island, most of the people who actually passed away were actually really, really old. In the 80s, in the 90s, you go there now, people have heart attacks that just drop dead.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know,
Yeah.
And I personally believe it's all related to diet, because back then it was a simple diet. I mean, people didn't have much money anyway. They just go and grab some tomatoes, some elias, λίγο ψωμί, you know,
Yeah,
basic stuff, no preservatives, and they used to make their own wine without all the additional things there. It actually tasted horrible, but it was chemical free. It was good for you, right? So anyway, I'm doing some research, and I personally believe, because of my own conditions as well, that I suffered throughout the years, that when we eat food, we actually should eat food as much as we can in its raw state, uncooked, because there's no other creature on the planet that will take something perfect and cook the hell out of it and eat it. Because you've destroyed all the goodness, and now you're just stuck with all the remnants there, because all the vitamins are dead, and your body has to work much, much harder to digest this, put it through your system, and get rid of it, the other end. So,
can I ask a funny question?
Please.
What's with some Greeks and their soggy chips? Now they cook their chips a bit soggy. Is that a Greek thing?
I don't know if it's a Greek thing, but Greeks, to make perfect chips, if that's your question, I would probably blanch them, friends, in water, meaning that, and that would be salted water as well.
20 minutes?
It depends on the thickness. If you've got 1 centimeter chips, you'll probably boil them for about 3 to 4 minutes. And then, like, for example, if you stab them with the fork, it should still be firm, but the fork should actually slide in there with a bit of resistance without having that crunchy sound, right? You take them off and drain them. What I would normally do, and it's probably not good, I would probably dust them with seasoned flour while they're still wet, and then fry them. You get a perfect skin. You also get a good hit of fat as well, but if you don't do it every day, it's all right. It's really good. Chips themselves, potato itself hasn't got enough flavor, so we actually got to...
Can you stop now? Can you both of you stop?
What are you cooking next week?
Let me talk to you about next week. Jimmy, that's not your sermon. Tonight we're taking over. Wait.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to you about my vegetarian...
Jimmy's a good eater.
I can see that. I think him and I, if he sits in my car, the car is actually balanced.
Thanks a lot.
Left and right.
Thank you.
I was, look, guys, I know I've said it many times, but I was fortunate enough to lose a few kilos with a Greek taxi strike.
Really?
Yes, really. I had to walk so much, I lost
That's actually a good thing.
Kilos.
We want more.
I can eat as much fat as I want the next month.
Really? That's excellent. That's good advice. Go to Greece when there's a taxi strike.
Exactly.
What about a ferry strike? You swim all the way to the islands.
Well, yeah, you'll lose. You'll do great shoulders.
Roula will find a way to
good
get
arms.
Let me tell you, actually, we're deviating again without even deviating. I just want to talk to you about my first creation of good health. That is vegetarian moussaka. It's coming up next Monday on TVS at Digital Food.
That, guys, 7:30 next Monday for
vegetarian moussaka.
Vegetarian moussaka by Freris.
And if you don't think it's any good because of my weight, well, it's not my fault that I ate rubbish. But that stuff's good, Anyway, vegetarian moussaka, we actually took the recipe for moussaka, which is a great recipe, but it's loaded with mince. The mince is loaded with fat. And we replaced that with a really good Napolitan sauce, which is basically, tomatoes and onions and garlic, and added a few Greek herbs, if you like, and a little bit of rosemary and so on to that particular tomato sauce. We actually cook the vegetables. Again, I like to actually grill the vegetables first, just a few tips, and I dip them in flour. The reason for that is they get that really nice smoky flavor from the grill, but you can't get it if you don't do that. You get soggy veg, So we put them in a layer. We lay them down on the tray. Then we put that beautiful sauce we just made with, the hint of rosemary and nutmeg and so on. Then we proceed to create a really nice bechamel. Bechamel, if you don't know, it's just a white sauce. It's based on milk, but again, you can use skim milk, you can use rice milk if you've got problems. And we also use, if we can, kefalotiri for flavor. I keep carrying on. Thank you for listening, guys. Okay. Some κεφαλοτήρι for
You're
flavor.
making me hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry myself. I'm going to eat my hands in a minute. But anyway, can I finish with the topping, please? I'm half the way through my moussaka.
Keep on going, 'cause you're making me
We
hungry.
might have to put
Let me just put it in the oven.
in the middle there just to
Okay,
stop it from
let me finish, please.
salivating.
So we'll put this layer of tomato or potatoes first. Why? Because the potatoes are actually, they have a solid base, so we can lift them up easy when the moussaka is cooked. Then a layer of eggplants and zucchini. We'll put that beautiful sauce. Then we'll make our white sauce. And again, here comes the diet tip. If you have problems with cholesterol, use skim milk or use rice milk. Actually, rice milk is really good. The recipe, of course, is going to be on our website. I don't want to go into detail, but it's a really good dish. You put that in the oven. It comes out. It smells like grease.
Are you going to show us this on Monday?
Absolutely. The recipe
We're
will
gonna
be on
see
the net.
whole thing happen.
Yeah, but I really want to say some good things about that, because that is actually a meal in itself. You've got all your fiber, right, on your veggies. You've got all the goodness of vitamins and everything. Plus you got the milk product that contains your protein. It's a complete meal. You don't need any veggies. Once you cook this, and it doesn't take that long, you eat that and that's it.
Do you do any sweets?
I do sweets, but unfortunately they have a very negative effect on me, as you can see, so I try not to do it too many times.
Roula, can you both...
Let's go to some music.
No,
I think
no,
we're
this-
because you're salivating. I can see poor Jimmy.
I don't know,
I'm hungry.
θα φάει τα χέρια του αυτό σε λίγο.
You're listening to Karamella here every Tuesday between 9 and 11 with Jimmy V and Roula, and our special guest tonight in the studio, Lewis, from the International
Cooking show.
Cooking Show, and you're making me hungry, Lewis.
Seeing you thinking of food. Is it hard, Lewis? You know, the tough industry, the one that you're working, well, both actually, the cooking and the videography, because you're working when everyone else
Yes,
is
that's
partying.
correct, Tula. It's actually, I believe that with, especially with the wedding videography, it's tougher than before, due to the fact that technology these days is readily available to everyone. And plus we also have a very large number of people that all of a sudden they think they're all cinematographers. And of course what it does, it drives the price down. We've been unable to lift our prices for quite a few years now, and the only way to compete now is to actually have an army of people working with you, like a circus if you like, 3 or 4 videographers, and create what they call a cinema type of video, which to be honest with you, I'm not really interested in that, because I don't want to be the show of the wedding. The focus should be on the bride and groom. You should be a fly on the wall.
Well, yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's true.
And
Going back to weddings, I know this is another topic.
Yeah,
Do
certainly,
you walk around videotaping a wedding and looking at the food and go, maybe I should have catered this? Would you mind-
I normally have silent complaints inside my head, because I've been a chef in the past. The plates are cold, the vegetables look grey instead of green, they've been sitting there for a long time. And actually at this point of time, I must say, I work a lot at the dockside group receptions, and I feel great every time that I work there, because at least the food is good, you know? But you go to some places, for example, and you say, no, I really don't want to eat this because I don't know where it's been. And it's not naming everyone, but it's just been critical because of my background,
Yeah, okay.
you know?
So, all right, so cooking's taken over for you now, and who pays for all this?
Well, funny you said that. We do at the moment. It probably has cost us for the last 3 months over $10,000 in production costs, you know, because I really wanted that to take off. It's an idea that I had. We are looking actively for sponsors at the moment. The reason we didn't do that before is because I wanted the program to succeed, and I didn't want to go out there asking people for sponsorship
Well,
if the
there you
program
go.
was
We
no.
can announce it. Anyone
Yeah.
who wants to sponsor the International Cooking Show,
Yes,
Louis Freris, call us now.
Louis Freris. Can I actually say something too?
Μπράβο,
τα λες, τι ωραία που τα λες, με κάνεις- Συγκινήθηκα, τι ωραία που τα λες.
Ο Louis Freris ψάχνει για sponsors.
Για χορηγούς, ναι.
Και αν ενδιαφερόσαστε για να είσαστε χορηγό, σας παρακαλώ, πάτε μας τηλέφωνο εδώ στο στούντιο 97-440-881.
Ωραία. Και κάτι άλλο να πω. Αν ο χορηγός διαθέτει κάποιο εστιατόριο, κάποιο μαγαζί, μπορούμε να κάνουμε το show από εκεί και να τους διαφημίσουμε κατά αυτόν τον τρόπο. Αν θέλει να γίνει χορηγός μας, εμείς θα έρθουμε και θα κάνουμε ολόκληρο πρόγραμμα βασισμένο επάνω στο μαγαζί το δικό τους και με το δικό τους το σεφ. Εμείς απλώς θα κάνουμε την παραγωγή και θα το αναφέρουμε, έτσι.
That sounds great. That's a great deal. I think, come on guys, if you're interested, you want to be a sponsor, jump on board.
You can call us here at the studio, 97440881. Lewis, have you got anyone to say hello to?
I'll say hello to my daughter Nikki. She's actually 17 today.
Bravo, να σου
Darling, I love you very much. Me and your mother, we love you very much. I know you're out tonight, but I'm going to take this for you. And well, we're taping and I'll play
Where
for
is
you
Nikki
later.
tonight?
Nikki's actually going to the movies with her friends tonight. So, yeah.
Well, Lewis, thank you for coming to Karamella.
And just quickly, I want to ask what ingredient you can't live without.
Tell me,
Something you can't live without.
red wine?
Okay?
Right.
It's actually, red wine is actually an antioxidant. It's good for your heart.
Let me
And
ask
2
you
glasses a
another
day.
question.
Yeah.
What's your favourite sport?
My favorite sport? I would say I'm into water sports. I'm not into rugby or anything like that. I like water sports. I like water skiing. I like anything to do with the paralias, you know? Including, you know,
Not fishing?
fishing. Look, fishing for a short period, if you are catching the fish, is really exciting. But if you're sitting in the sun for half an hour, nothing's biting, and you're pulling it up and down, I tell you what, not my kind of thing, you know?
Okay, guys, once again, thank you for coming in. Lewis, thank you for coming to the program. Thank you for coming to Karamella.
Jimmy, thank you for having me, mate. I appreciate
No
your
problem.
invitation,
You're welcome.
and you too, Roula.
Thank you very much.
It's been very exciting for us. But I've been talking about it with Joe for a few days. I wonder what I'm going to do. I wonder what I'm going to say. But
We'll be watching you on Monday nights.
Monday
Thank
night,
you.
guys, on
With all
TVS,
your cooking tips.
which is channel
Digital 44.
or in the
Channel
old
31 in the analog.
correct, yes,
7:30.
on Monday. And if you miss it, it's actually back on Wednesdays at 12:30 p.m. and on Fridays at 2:30 p.m. It repeats twice. That's how good it is. We repeat.
Fantastic.
So,
Well done.
so the pensioners don't miss it as well, you know?
Okay, thank you once again, Lewis, and good luck with your show on.
Okay, ευχαριστώ πολύ παιδιά για την πρόσκληση. Απόψε να μιλήσουμε και λίγα ελληνικά
Γιατί όχι, είμαστε Έλληνες.
και ελπίζω να βρεθούμε πάλι ξανά και αυτή τη φορά θέλω να μιλήσουμε tips and tricks for a healthy life.
We could
Δηλαδή,
do that next
εντάξει.
night. We could do a healthy. Yeah, we'll get Jimmy on the health.
And
thing.
Πάλι,
who else is likely to be listening to us now? Everybody. Hello everybody guys. Thank you so much. Good night.
listeners everywhere.
Ναι, καληνύχτα σας.
Γεια σας, man. Γεια σου.
Yes.
Have some more music, and we're back later on with the classics around 10 o'clock. I've got a 20-minute mix of the best classic songs.